Done, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Good morning to one and all present for today's session. I am Megha Hundekar, research scholar from Mysore University, and today we are here to listen to a very informative session, that is writing a research article. As we all know, research is not only about conducting wet labs, it is also about how you present your results and observations through the research papers. And writing the research paper, though it seems to be very easy, it takes a lot of efforts, hard work, understanding, and analysis so that we can make a paper that is worth enough for the publication. So today we are going to have this wonderful session from our today's guest speaker, Dr. Dilip G. Gore, sir. First of all, I would like to welcome Dr. Dilip, sir, for today's session, and I'm very thankful for making him or for taking out his time from his valuable day. We welcome you, Dr. Dilip, sir.
Thank you.
I would like to introduce Dr. Dilip, sir, to all the members today who are attending the session. Dr. Dilip Gore, sir, has completed his academics from RTM University, Nagpur. Sir has also completed his PhD in biotechnology from the same university, RTM University, Nagpur. Sir has specializations in material science, molecular biology, bioinformatics, comparative genomics, and proteomics, followed by biopolymer, hydrogel, and nanotechnology drugs. Sir is also serving on few panels, which includes BOS member of MBGE Department Nagpur, advisory member of Dhaba Homeopathy College, Nagpur. He is also a member of examination sessions section for Yashwantrao Savan Maharashtra Open University Nashik, and the list goes on. Sir has almost two patents on his name, and he has also been guiding three PhD students. Sir has almost 42 international and national publications, and he has few products formulated and that are available in the market. Sir is at present acting as a founder director of Sai Biosystems Private Limited, which is placed in Nagpur. And this entire institute is involved in molecular, analytical, and material science research. So today we are very happy to have a session from Dr. Dilip sir, and I hope all the listeners would have a very good time. And the session will also be open for Q&A at the end. So I would like to request Dr. Dilip Gore sir to take over the session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Megha. So I will be sharing my screen, I think.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 'I would request the participants to please mute yourself once you have admitted the session.
1 minute. Okay, so I hope you all are getting my screen.
Yes, sir. It's visible.
Okay, so a very good morning to all. It's a very tough topic to talk about whenever we are going for a writing of the any content, especially the research part what we have done. So today's our aim is to solve the problems of proper writing skill, especially whenever we are going for a research article writer. So today's topic is all about what are the steps basically you should take to write this proper research article. What are the first point that you should write in a research article, especially whenever you are writing on your own. Those all points we will be covering. Okay. So what is the purpose of our main topic? First is we need to understand the skill-based understanding of the objectives, whatever the objectives we are considering in our research. Then second is the gathering of the required literature whenever we are writing any particular research topic. Then understanding of the statistics whenever we are going for any data collection. Ultimately, we need to use the power of statistics so that proper representation of the data should be done. And then image processing, we take number of photos. Those photos needs to be arranged properly in a research article that we will see. And lastly, the plagiarism, that part. These are the main purpose of today's session, what we are going to cover. So in these topics, what we are trying to cover, first thing is how to write the effective abstract, then how to write the proper methodology, what points needs to be covered, then what is the basic points what we have to introduce into the introduction, then into result, discussion and conclusion. And at the last, we'll see how the statistical part comes into the picture whenever we are writing any research article. Okay. So when you start writing your research article, every author is having a different what you can say ideology of writing the research article. But as per our knowledge, what we have gained through, what should be the proper way of writing and what will be the first stage of writing the research article? So that will be first prepare your all tables and graphs properly. Okay. Now, whenever we are generating a data, we need to gather all that data, and that data generally comes in a raw material or raw sheet form. Okay, in the form of Excel sheet or in the form of Word file and all. But what we have to do, whenever we have to convert it into a research article, we have to convert in a very small or a concise form in the form of the table and graphs. Okay. So first, as a author, what you do, kindly arrange your data into small size tables and graphs. Okay. Because big size data is not acceptable in a research article. Secondly, the second step which we should do in a writing is to arrange the methods. Okay, research article writing becomes easy when you go for proper methodology writing, because if you write methodological protocols or hierarchy properly, same methodological hierarchy you have to use into research writing or a result writing, right? So what you do first, properly arrange your methods so that those same methods titles can be utilized in a result title, and that will help you to give a proper result writing skill. Then after writing a method, you have to go for result writing. In a result writing, what you do, there are two ways of result writing. One is result and discussion separately, and another style is result and discussion combinedly. Okay, so you can make the approach in both the ways. Either you can write result separately and discussion separately, or what you do, you can write result and discussion in together. Now, which approach you will go for, it depends upon the type of the data that you are having. Many times that decision needs to be taken by you, that which will be the proper method. And then what you do, thereafter you write down the introduction. What generally research writers are do, or article people are do, they do introduction writing first. I will always suggest not to go for that. First, what you do? First, you go for table preparation, then go for methodology, write down all your research results and discussion properly, and at the last, you write down the introduction. So this is the most of the time problem comes when research article fails, that people used to write introduction first. Don't write introduction first, not in the form of research format, just for your convenience. Okay. So first you write down the introduction first on your pages when results and discussion is getting ready. And lastly, you write down abstracts and conclusion. Okay, so this is the standard way of writing. This is not for formatting of the journal. I'm just telling you that how you will write in your pages and your concepts. Okay, so this is the main hierarchy what or the process what you should follow whenever you are writing a paper. So I will again repeat. First, you prepare tables, graphs properly, keep it there. Then you arrange your methods properly. Based on the methods, write down your results properly, and then discussion. And lastly, you can go for the introduction. So when all these things are with you, like tables, method, results, and introduction, then you have to go at the last to the abstract writing and conclusion writing. Okay. So these are the 4 steps we should follow while writing an effective research article. So first thing which we need to understand is the method writing skill. Now, whenever we are writing method, what are the points you need to take care of? Okay, first thing is the headers. In the methods, we need to include the headers, and under every header, we have to write the contents. For example, a collection of any bacterial sample or collection of any water sample. So you have to write down that proper wording that why and when and for what purpose you are mentioning this concept. Okay, so you have to put down the proper header. Then if you are sampling something, for example, if you taking water, if you are taking water sample from somewhere, or you are collecting some medical sample from somewhere, okay, or if you are taking some soil sample from somewhere, just record the latitude and longitude or information at that same point and include it into the methodology. Now, this is the standard way of representing your collection data, because if somebody than you wants to collect the same information from the same area, they can very easily locate the position based on latitude and longitude. Okay. Then many times what happens that people used to write protocols in very deep, especially methodology, whenever they are writing the research article. So keep in mind, if that is a standard protocol, just write it in a short. For example, if you are going for a Lowry-Bradford method for protein estimation, don't write whole process. Just write shortly that you have followed Lowry-Bradford method and refer one particular standard reference for that from which you have taken the protocol. Okay. Many times you can also take the standard protocol from Indian standard protocol. Okay, so instead of research articles, you can take the protocol from the Indian standard protocols. You can refer those also. Okay, now this is for those write-ups where you are taking the protocols from the standard settings. But in your research, if you are following a very new method or a protocol, and which is not been followed by somebody or which has not been written earlier or not been explained earlier, then this is your protocol. Okay, so explain that protocol in detail. Okay, and that is your new methodology what you are putting in, that needs to be explained in detail. So whenever a reviewer review your research article, and if you are explaining a new protocol, they will always ask that please give all the details of your protocols so that the reader can understand in detail how you have done it. Okay. So this is one of the steps. Many times some research articles are of different type. One of the research article comes in the form of research article protocol. Okay. So many times scientists and researchers write the protocol based research article. In that you have to give again all the details of your methods in a very detailed form, and don't hesitate to put small things into that, because that is what is your points that you need to put in so that the reader can understand how you have done it. Then whenever you are writing any method and all, please keep all the symbols properly. Okay. For example, degree, micron, something like that. Okay. The people used to put U and all that. Keep that symbols properly. Okay. Again, keep in a one format. Okay. For example, if somewhere I write degree, Okay, I write about temperature 37 degrees. So I will write 37 degree. And at some other point, I will write in a 37 with the symbol degree Celsius. So this should not happen. You either follow one, either degree or degree Celsius. So just check it out whenever you write down the methodology and result, that all are in a one format. Then in a methodology, always acknowledge your outsourcing organization. For example, many times we do some experimentation, for example, HPLC, FTIR, scanning electron microscopy, from the other organization where we have not worked, but we have taken the support of them. So please always try to give a proper, what we can say, acknowledgement to them. This will add a value to your writing skill, and it will give you a weightage. Next thing is always mention what type of chemicals you have used, especially for their grades, like analytical grade, okay, or plant tissue culture grade or molecular grade, and the company. What will happen? This will help the person to retake that sample again. I always also suggest to give a CAS number of the chemicals. Okay, whenever you are mentioning any chemical, like for example, propanol, methanol, alcohol, something like that, you always mention a CAS number in a methodology. What happens? Because of this, there will be a greater clarity about that chemical usage, and people can order that same chemical by referring your research article, and that will give you a very good referencing or what you can say citation index to your research article. So these are the skills you should follow while writing the methods. Okay. Next part comes is the result. Now, whenever we are writing the results, if we see the result writing skill, we have actually three parts. Based on that, those three parts, we write the results, right? First part comes in the form of the image, right? We see the image, and based on the image, we write the results. Second part comes in the form of the tables, and third part comes in the form of the graphs. So basically, whenever we are writing the results, we have to look after for the results writing with respect to image based, graph based, and table based. So this is the section where I'm telling you that how to write image based writing. First thing is what you do. Just check out how many images that you are having. Okay, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 like that, and whether we can join them in together or not. Okay, many times what happens that we keep the images differently, and but they have a relationship with each other. So what you do, you can combine them in together. For example, as you can see from this diagram, right? So what we have done, at the top we have a different color of that bottle, and we have a spectroscopic absorption of that, and a different spectroscopic range. So what I have done, we have combined these together, and based on that, I have written it perfectly. Correct. So you need to think that whether image can be clubbed in together or not. Then properly label every image, right? So as you can see at the top, it has been properly labeled at the top with the names and all, right? So this is what is the main objective while setting up the image. Now, once your image has been set up, then you will write the content of that result. So what will be the steps? सबसे पहले जो होता है, that is what you need to go for. Always give proper theme of explanation, that why this result you are putting in front of the audience, means the reader. Then arrange the relevant images together and explain it together for better views. ठीक है? आप उसको properly arrange करिए and then write it down. Okay. Always give proper labels to them and use a very scientific language. Don't use a crude language. Okay. You need to write a scientific language always. Okay. In research article, generally what happens when a fresh author comes into the picture, who writes the first time research article or second time research article, what they do, they give results in very detailed form. Okay, they write everything about that part. But research article doesn't ask for that. They ask for a short and concise message from that result. So you write it in a shortest form. If you are not feeling what you can say is comfortable with the writing, what do you do? First, you refer a very similar article with respect to your data, and you just find it out how many terms, what are the joining words they have used in together, so that I can make the same thing. Okay. So you can take the skill of that other research article and you can follow that same pattern of writing in your, okay, with respect to your data. Now don't follow these 4 points, what I have already told. Lengthy write-up for known things. जो चीजें बहुत सारी पता रहती है, जैसे मैंने अभी आपको बताया कि एंटी माइक्रोबियल एक्टिविटी, पीपल यूज्ड टू राइट सो मच दैट if they have tested 50 plates, they used to write all the data of 50 plates. It is not required. From that 50 plates or 60 plates, just write down which are relevant, okay, which are showing the better activity or the less activity, or who are resistant, who are sensitive. Just write that and mention that the other information has been reported in a table 1 or graph 1 or image 1, like that. Okay. So don't put lengthy wordings for antibacterial activity, change in concentration, MIC values, and known phenomenon. Write it in a short. Correct. So these are the main, what you can say, points we need to check it out whenever we are going for the image-based analysis. The foremost important topic comes in a research article is the table-based or the graph-based data. Okay, this is the point where you need to take care of. Okay, images are very easy to handle, but tables and graphs are very tough to handle. Why this is so? Because whenever we are arranging a data, as you can see from the this image, where you are collecting a data in a raw form, that is in the Excel sheet form. This Excel sheet form you cannot put it into the what you can say research article. You need to convert that data into a small content in the form of a small file, or what you can see image file or graph file or something like that. So how we can convert this, that you can check it out. You need to use this statistical tools which will help you to convert your data into a small or concise form. Now there are so many tools are available. For example, there are t-test is there, ANOVA is there, chi-square test is there, okay. Then correlation is there, regression is there, okay. First you need to check it out that which type of statistical tool you need to apply as per your data, right? So once your data you understand, just go to the statistician or learn by your own to convert your raw sheet data into a designed statistically analyzed data. Keep in mind, whenever you are reporting a population data, you have to mention it with the standard deviation, standard error, and if it is a comparative data, with the p-value. Keep in mind what happens that whenever you report without deviation or error or with the p-value, then it will create a bad impression, and most of the time they send it for the revision. Okay, so they send it back and they will tell you that, okay, please revise it with the addition of standard deviation and standard error. So always keep your research article data in a standard statistically analyzed table form and with respect to its graph. Whenever you are representing the graph needs to be represented with the standard deviation or the standard error bars. Okay, आपको हमेशा उसके ऊपर standard deviation के error bars या standard error का error bars होना ही चाहिए, because that will represent that you have statistically analyzed your data. Okay, so keep these points into the mind whenever you are representing your data. Okay, otherwise it creates a very bad impression to the in front of your reviewer, and many times the paper get rejected. Always take help of the statistician if possible, okay, because they are the right person who will guide you always, or your guide is the one of the best person who will guide you always to give the proper statistically analyzed data, right? So here is an example that how you can write the results, right? So as you can see here, here I have given you one table. As you can see, it's a Pearson correlation between VO2 max versus Vmax. So we are comparing the performances of VO2 max versus Vmax. Okay. So ये correlation है. Correlation means whether VO2 max is affecting Vmax positively, negatively or there is no relationship. Okay, so as you can see, first we need to understand what is our data is. If you see this data, first thing is that number of XY pairs, that you have taken 100 parameters into the consideration. Then there is a Pearson R value. Now this is all statistical, right? So your आपका 100 लोगों का डेटा था और वो 100 लोगों का डेटा सिर्फ इतना वैल्यू में कन्वर्ट हो गया. So as you can see that you need not to represent all 100 data in together, पर उन 100 लोगों का एक concise output आपको यहाँ पे हमेशा देना है. So what is happening here? Your 100 VO2 max values have been compared with the 100 Vmax values. So what we have got is the correlation with the Pearson R value 0.70. Okay, then we got the 95% of confidence interval 0.58, 0.79. We got the p value 0 less than 0.001. So this is what is the statistics come out, right? Now how I will write this in a literature. Okay, so see what I have done. I have written it in a scientific terminology as per correlation study. Since we have done a correlation study, as per correlation study, VO2 max of patients, because VO2 max is recorded for the patients, found to be positively correlated. Since the value is plus, that's why it is known as positively correlated. Pearson R value 0.70, we have to write, with the Vmax having the confidence interval of 0.58 to 0.79. See, all these content I have written in a scientific way, governed by p value less than 0.001, indicated with the strong correlation of both parameters in a positive direction. Positive direction since it is going upward, as you can see in this graph. In this graph, as you can see, the color it is growing upwards, right? So that's why it is a positive relationship as shown in or as given in table and graph. So this is what is the skill you should have in yourself, that first arrange properly your data as per statistical in the form of graph and image, and just write based on that. It will give you a very easy writing experience. But if you don't arrange your data properly in the form of graph or image or in a statistical form, it is very tough to write the things, right? So statistics helps you to write the very easy results based on the analysis. Okay, next part. Next part comes with the discussion, right? So whenever we go for the discussion, what is exactly the discussion means? So when we write our results, those results are our findings, right? We are reporting to the society that we have got something very interesting out of our research and we want to represent it with the all the readers who are available, right? But the thing is like that, whether your result, what you are showcasing, is already been available or not, okay, that you need to showcase in the form of discussion. And if the data is available, then how much the data is similar or variant or not matching, you need to mention. Okay, you need to report it to the society that whatever the phenomenon, whatever the result, whatever the observation, whatever the findings you have got is prevalent already into the result domain or not. For that, you have to write the discussion part. Discussion part will give you an insight of your published data, where you can actually, what you can say, mention your findings with the others, and you can relate your findings with the other, either on a positive side or on a neutral side or on a negative side also. For example, I'm just repeating again the same thing what I have written in a mention in a result, but now I am comparing it with the other person. So in a discussion, what I will do, I will read out my result first and I will compare the same result pattern with the other research article. So accidentally, I found one paper whose name is, for example, Sam et al. 2023. Now, this paper is also showing the same relevance, where VO2 max is showing the relationship with the other WOMAC, and they also got some values. So what I can write? So see this, what I have written. So this is first my finding as per correlation study VO2 max of patient found to be positively correlate with the WOMAT, with the confidence, something like that I have written, right? Now ऐसा ही finding अगर किसी को मिला है, the same finding it has been available somewhere. So how I will write? See, the data of the present study found to be in agreement, right? If it is in agreement with your findings, अगर वो आपके जैसा ही है, so you will write in agreement. It is coherent. It is similar to our findings, okay, or matching with our findings, something like that you will write, which was published earlier by Sam et al. ठीक है? अब इसका उल्टा भी हो सकता है. The data of the present study found to be in variant. जरूरी नहीं होता कि आप जो डेटा पब्लिश करेंगे वैसा ही डेटा किसी और के साथ में मिल जाए आपको. It may be a reverse of it. It may be a variant of it. So you can write the variant part also. Okay. With variant, which was published earlier by Sam et al. Where they have published a similar finding. अगर वो agreement के साथ है, आपका data उस match कर रहा है, then you have to write the similar finding. But if it is not matching, then you have to go for, it's a contrary of the present finding. Means you are what you can say, you are claiming that this is not the finding which we have recorded as compared to the Sam et al. 2023 findings. So you can criticize or you can remain in agreement with the findings of the other reporters. Likewise, you have to write the discussion part, right? So where they have published a similar finding or a contrary of the present finding, which also confirm with our study or disagree as per our study. तो आप relevance भी रख सकते हो किसी के डेटा के साथ में या disagree भी हो सकते हो, ठीक है? So this is the thing where you are getting a match with the SAM, ठीक है? SAM के साथ आपका डेटा मैच कर रहा है, but there may be a possibility that कि आपने जो रिसर्च किया है वो आज तक किसी ने नहीं किया है, तो शायद आपको उसकी तरह डेटा नहीं मिलेगा. If it is not getting match with anyone, then you can say that it is the first time reported as per our information. ठीक है? आप ऐसा लिख सकते हैं that this is the first time probably we are reporting to the society that this is the phenomenon or the principle or the protocol or the findings has happened. Okay? So अगर आपको कोई भी relevant नहीं दिखता है, in that case आपको जरूरी नहीं है कि उसको किसी के साथ discussion करना है, but हाँ आप उसके साथ relate कर contents को write up में डाल सकते हैं. So this is what is the very important part of the discussion. So check it out where how discussion part comes. This is one of the toughest part in a research article, especially for the new writers. तो आपको इसका थोड़ा skill समझना पड़ेगा. If you want to learn the skill of discussion, what you do, refer some research articles and check it out how they have written, okay? And what are the points, what are the connection points, means how they have joined their result with the literature data. They many times they use a very important words in between. So those pick up those words from those. For example, they have mentioned, they have responded, our findings is similar to that. These words are very important. Just chalk out some 10-15 words from those and try to incorporate in your discussion. Okay, these are the very important points whenever you are writing the discussion. So now you are ready with everything. For example, you got the results with you, you got the graph, you got the image, you got the statistical part, you have written all the results, you come up with the discussion writing and everything. Then you start writing on an introduction. Okay, don't start introduction writing first. Okay, although paper में तो introduction first पहले ही जाएगा, it will go first, but while writing on your own on a paper, write introduction at last. सबसे आखिरी में आपको उसको लिखना है. So अब introduction लिखना है तो क्या करना चाहिए? What are the proper steps to write the introduction? Whenever you will see a research article, you will see that the introduction always starts with the problem statement. Okay, whenever you will read n number of research articles, you will come to the conclusion that every author tries to state the problem in front of the author, reader, that what is the problem in front of us, and how that problem is creeping up, and what are the revenues and avenues are there. So you have to also start with the problem statement, right? You have to find out on which topic you are working. Start writing that problem statement. For example, if you are writing about the water pollution and plastic, so you need to merge those points first. Okay, you have to find out those research articles who have mentioned the problem of water pollution, problem of bioplastic with respect to your topic. Okay, and then you will try to merge it. Okay, so use proper problem statement to start the introduction. So once you introduced a reader with the problem statement, now you have to shift to the second part in the introduction. That is, link what are present solutions and why there is a need of research. Now, if the problem is there, researcher must have worked on that. So there must be there must be more than one or maybe one solution for that. For example, if you look at the plastic problem, so people have developed bioplastic, people have used cotton bags, people have started utilizing polylactic acid. So these are the solutions available. But still, the research is going on. People have not stopped it. So why there is a need of a better product? So that we need to put in a second line. Then introducing that what are the problem statement, what is the present solution, why there is a need of research. Now it's your turn. Now introduce your subject into the property of introduction. Now you try to give your topic importance into the introduction. For example, if you are using some herbal extract to prepare one nanoparticle, okay, so you will give the importance of that plant, right? The why that plant is so important. Then you need to introduce that plant as a whether it is abundant or not, okay, whether it's an annual plant or not, where it is generally been grown, what are the bioactive compounds present in that, whether it's a reducing agent or not. So these are the introduction of your subject. So you're trying to pull in your plant or your subject into the property of the introduction, and then you say that why my compound or my subject is so important to solve the problem what I have stated earlier. Okay, so that is the necessity for problem to solve. Why I have to include my subject into the property. So that is your third point. Okay, just follow all these lines to give a proper introduction. And at the last, you need to mention why your research is needs to be linked with the previous findings and possibilities. You need to mention that why my research is now very important to solve the problem of proper problem statement what I have put in front of you. Okay, for that you can mention that now today's what are the technologies available, what are the advances been made, and why my research will put up into a better problem solution. So these points you need to mention at the last. So while going for the proper introduction writing, use these 4 statements and it will give a fantastic output to the introduction. And reader can very easily understand what are your particular aim, why it is going into a methodology and research writing part. Okay. Then now you are done with everything. You got your introduction ready, you got your methodology ready, you got your result ready, discussion ready. Now last part comes is the abstract. So what happens many times, as I already told you, author starts writing introduction first, then abstract. Don't do like that. You need to write the abstract at the last. Okay, when you have everything in your hand, then you have to write the abstract. Now in an abstract, what are these basic points and how you need to write the abstract? Okay, just what you do, go to the PubMed and write at least 15 abstracts. Okay, and try to figure out how they have written. Okay, so when you will read 10 to 15 abstracts on one particular subject, you will find it out there is a one pattern of match. Okay, they are repeating it in pattern. So what is this pattern is actually? Just check it out here. Whenever an author writes an abstract, abstract is a conclusive remark of every part of the research article which he wants or she wants to put in together. Okay? Abstract is giving you a glance of your research article, 10-15 words, right? So how this introduction abstract works and why abstract is so important. See, whenever reader reads your research article, they first read your abstract. If it is relevant to them, then they go into your detailed part reading. Okay. So you need to mention everything, whatever the major outputs of your research article into a abstract, so that you can influence the reader to read whole research article. So to do that, first thing again, yes, I have already shown it here. Let's see. You have to write down first the intro. Okay. In an intro, you mention what problem statement you are solving, right? And how you are solving. Then you have to mention what are the methodologies that you have followed. Okay. Maybe your methodology may be of 1 page or 2 page, but you have to convert that whole methodology into a 4 to 5 lines. That is a methodology. Then after mentioning the methodology, what are your outputs? That is the result. Just write down in a 4 to 5 lines what will be your result. Okay. And at the last, ultimately, after doing all this research, what is your conclusion? Whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. For example, if you have synthesized some nanoparticle from one plant extract and you are testing it against the E. coli, Klebsiella, S. aureus, Pseudomonas. And after synthesizing, after testing everything, and you are finding that your nanoparticles are not at all killing them. So that will be your conclusion. Or it may be a reverse of it, that they are killing perfectly. Or they may be specific to particular E. coli or maybe S. aureus, you have to mention something like this. So this will be your conclusion. So abstract is actually encompasses of 4 parts: introduction, method, result, and conclusion. Okay, so this will give a better glance of it. And keywords are very easy, you can very easily put the keywords. Then in many research articles, especially when you publish in a Springer or Nature or what you can say Elsevier and all, they always now ask for the graphical abstracts. So this is a new trend coming in. So बहुत सारे new जो writers होते हैं उनको थोड़ा टफ जाता है. So I will give you some hint of that, how to write the very easily abstracts. First, you can use PowerPoint. I will show you. And use your PowerPoint to make the graphical abstract and save your that slide into JPEG, TIFF and other formats. In the graphical abstracts, always gives proper details of graphs, image, and highlights the points of your research, which you have done it. I will showcase it to you. So this is the way you can go for, as you can see. So this is the point where you can see the all the details are here. For what we have to go for in a graphical abstract, first give the title of your research article. Okay. Then give the small brief of it, what exactly happening here. So for example, this is the title of it, where I have synthesized iron nanoparticle from Acherontes aspera, which is controlling a human pathogen. Right. So I have written in a short, see here, Acherontes aspera FUNPS controls human pathogen. So this is a small glance of it. Then here is a graph where I have showcased the graphical view. Then image is there. I have put it into the insight. This is an insight. Yeah, insight बोलते हैं उसको, ठीक है? So insight में हमने put कर दिया और उसका पूरा write up that I have given here. Okay. So what is exactly this image represents? Okay. And this is a scanning electron microscopy of iron nanoparticle. And this is the ultimate output. Okay. So this is the real synthesis part, and this is the real action part I have mentioned. And then at the bottom, you have to give the author name and journal in which it has been published. And in this way, you can very easily prepare a graphical abstract. So don't be worried about that. It's very easy to prepare through what you can say PowerPoint presentation. If you are not comfortable, then you can go for the Corel Draw. Meet any person who is having the DTP knowledge, and they can also help you to design a very effective one. Okay. Then the references. Okay, whenever you are setting up the references, always keep your references in a proper style. Okay. Before setting up the references, you need to select the journal in which you need to submit. Okay, just check it out there, what you can say journal style. Okay, they have given the instructions to the author. Check it out. What are the instructions to the author? In which format you have to submit. All the references need to be checked for the type of the research article or literature. What is that? I will tell you. Whenever you are referring the references, many times those references are in different forms. For example, first may be the research article, second may be the review article, third may be your book, fourth may be your protocol, sixth may be your clinical trial data. So journals gives the specific instruction to set these kind of references in a particular format. So you need to arrange those literatures into particular format as per the journal instructions. So you need to check it out before going for the submission into the journal. Don't submit research article without setting up the references, because that gives a very negative response towards you. Okay, always submit your research article considering that it is final. Okay, what generally submitter or do they submit their manuscript haphazardly, considering that okay, I will do it later. Don't do it. You can use some platforms very easily like PubMed, Google Scholar, and then Mendeley is there. You can use software, or you can do manually also. Okay, try to set out the references whenever you are setting the references into the discussion and the introduction and the methodology, which are generally been published from the last 15 years. Okay, but it is not like that, that you only those which are published 15 years before 15 years. आप पुराने वाले भी रेफर कर सकते हो, क्योंकि कुछ ऐसे गोल्ड स्टैंडर्ड्स है जिनको आप रिमूव नहीं कर सकते. ठीक है, you have to mention all those. Then the plagiarism. Always write your own statements. Okay, try to write your own thoughts. Okay, then avoid copy and paste. But don't copy and paste, but always follow how other people have written down the content. Okay, just keep always one standard research article beside you. फॉर एग्जाम्पल जब भी आप कोई रिजल्ट लिख रहे हो ना, तो एक किसी दूसरे का रिजल्ट का पेपर हार्ड कॉपी अपने साइड में रखिए. Okay, whenever you are writing something, just read once what that fellow has written and in which format they have written. The same thing you can written in your language, but with a certain changes. But उसका format वही रख सकते हो, जिससे आपका आसान हो जाएगा समझना. But don't copy and paste the content. Always check your content with the proper legal softwares for the plagiarism, and always use your feelings. क्योंकि research article क्या होता है ना, research article is your feelings, okay, about your findings, and don't give that feelings to AI. Now I have seen so many people are putting their content into AI, and whatever the AI gives, put it into the research article. That will give a different sense to the research article, because human feeling with respect to the content is totally different when we are comparing the content with the AI, and it is very easily detectable. Okay, so don't go for AI based writing. It will vanish, or it will deteriorate your quality of writing, right? So what are the overall steps? First, write method, then properly prepare your statistical tables and graphs, then write your results properly along with discussion or without discussion. Then go for abstracts and conclusion writing in together. And lastly, go for introduction, title, and keywords writing. And then just arrange it properly. So first thing will go introduction, then abstract, introduction, methodology, result, discussion, conclusion, and lastly it will come to the referencing. So these are the steps I have suggested you to go forward. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. The session is open for Q&A. If anyone has any query, you can unmute and ask the question.
Megha, I'm
Yes,
Dr.
sir.
A.M. Deshmukh.
Good afternoon, sir.
Sir, I have attended about 80% lecture of Dr. Gore. And really, I congratulate him and I thanks him
80% time and present.
for the reason that he has explained how to write your thesis or your research paper. And it is a very useful to the coming generation. Today, about 90 participants were in the classroom. and really they must have enjoyed. We are circulating recorded YouTube of presentation so that again other students will take a benefit. And he has rightly said, don't go for AI. AI will deteriorate all your research. With your own talent, you should learn how to write the paper. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Gore,
Thank you,
for
sir.
a nice presentation. Thank you.
Dr. Dilip sir, there is a question from Dr. Prakash Halmani sir. Sir, do you provide manuscript, thesis writing, preparation services, and what are the charges for the same?
Basically we do assist now. अभी हम सिर्फ असिस्ट करते हैं, लोगों को प्रॉपर सजेस्ट करते हैं. जनरली ये अभी एक्टिविटी हमने बंद कर दिया है, but if they want, I can guide them properly whenever they write something so that the process becomes easy.
Sure, sir. Sure. Dr. Mukesh sir, you can unmute and ask your question. Dr. Mukesh sir. Sir, there is one more question from Medha. Good morning, sir. How to write the discussion part in an effective way?
First, what you do, you write all your results, okay? And once you are completed with your results, okay, you can partition them, okay? Just partition them. For example, you are writing in a result that I have isolated in the present study. The E. coli has been isolated from the fecal matter of something like that. Okay. So what you have done, you have written down your one statement. Now, isolation of E. coli is from the fecal matter is normal, right? But you need to represent the same data whether it has been done previously by other person or not. So आपको लिखना पड़ेगा. So for first, what you have done, you have reported that I have isolated that in the present study, E. coli has been isolated from the fecal matter on a particular media. For example, you have isolated on a UTI agar, right? So here there are three subjects: E. coli, fecal matter, and UTI, right? Now what you do, you find out the research article who has previously isolated E. coli on a UTI, right? So what you will do, according to, for example, Gore et al., isolation of E. coli on a UTI is possible. Hence, our study also shows an agreement that UTI can be utilized for the isolation of E. coli, especially when we have isolated from the fecal matter. So what that it has done, it has given a concrete output that UTI can be utilized for the UTI agar can be utilized for the isolation of E. coli. In this way, you can write every statement. You need to find out relevant research articles, and hence you can put down a concrete output. So this is one of the way. Then you can write it down statistically. You need to cover statistically your data. These are the steps where you can very easily write. Okay.
Yeah, Dr. Dilip sir.
Yes. Yeah, you are audible, sir.
Sir, good afternoon. My name is Dr. Mukesh Meghvanshi, and I'm a DRDO scientist, and currently serving as a state vice president of Microbiology Society in Madhya Pradesh. Actually, my question is related to the two aspects. Whenever we Indian write research papers, there are two major issues that we come across. One is the English language, because many of the researchers are not quite conversant familiar with the international English language.
Correct.
So we find it very difficult, and to compensate that part, what they do, they try to copy. So ultimately, they end up with plagiarism. So my this query to you is, if they try to solve the problem of this plagiarism using some standard softwares like Authenticate or any other softwares, they are very costly, and the researchers from colleges or the academic institutions wherein adequate fundings are not available, they find it very difficult to use those costly softwares. So can you just highlight or just let us know for the broader readership, what are the tools, techniques or softwares through which they can check the grammar of their manuscript and check the plagiarism without having monetary constraints?
Yeah, actually,
Okay,
this
sir.
is the major problem.
1 minute, 1
What-
minute. Mukesh sir, probably you have one more mobile or laptop nearby. So there is a humming sound. Humming sound is there. Yes. Now,
Now it is clear. So shall I give an answer? Okay.
Sure.
So, sir has put down a very important, what you can say, problem statement in front of us, that those who are very new in research writing faces the problem of tough English-based concept writing, right? Whenever the journal they are choosing, especially Springer or Elsevier, something like that, they require English to be remain very coherent. Okay. So what I will suggest to the new authors. First, whenever you are choosing a topic of research, just take 5 papers out of that subject line, which are very similar to your line. Okay. For example, if you have done a nanoparticle based synthesis, just chalk down 5 papers of same journal in which you are trying to submit. Okay, for example, if you are trying to submit in an Indian Journal of Microbiology or Springer, what you do? Just take out 4 or 5 papers similar to your line of research and read it out how they have written. Okay, from that, what will happen? They will get an idea that this journal expect which type of language to be written. Okay, and based on that, you write it down. That will help you to get the similar language with ease without putting much of the efforts. Okay, and here there is a chance of acceptance, more acceptance. So this thing I can suggest to the new authors who are submitting the research articles.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
So there is one more question.
Yes.
It's from Soumya Jeet, where what are some good journals where I can publish review articles in microbiology and acceptance rate is higher?
It is tough to tell basically, but you can go for one website whose name is DOAJ, Directory of Open Access Journal. Okay, you can go to this website www.doaj.com, where you have a list of microbiology journals where you can very easily publish the papers. Some of them are paid, some of them are free, so you can check it out. Especially open access remains free of cost, so here you can submit. And whenever you are writing the research article, just keep in mind that you should be an expert of that subject. Now, what is happening? The trend has changed. Everybody wants to write the review article. But as per journal, what they suggest that those persons who are expert in that subject should write a research review article, right? Because review article tells you an idea, this whole information about the subject line. So please, whenever you are writing a review article, please make sure that you are expert subject expert of that, and then only it will be a useful one.
Any more questions? Sir, I guess the presentation was so detailedly explained that there are no more questions in the chat box, nor are the audience having any such kind of questions. Deshmukh sir, can I conclude? No, sir is not available.
Can you
So,
1 minute? There is one. Is there?
yeah. I want to know the website, sir, just now which you
Yeah, 1 minute.
told. Yeah.
So it is coming now, DOAJ, DOAJ.
So it will be better if you can just put it in the chat box.
It is there.
Yes, sir, it's there.
DOAJ. Or
Yes, sir,
DOAJ.
yes. Yes, sir.
It is coming.
Yes, sir, it's visible, sir.
Yeah.
Anupama
DOAJ.
ma'am, do you have any question? Anupama ma'am? Okay. Ishani, any question?
One question is that how I can inside of finding good journal for publication or how to find. See what you do, just go to the PubMed, okay? And in the PubMed, write down your topic of interest, whatever your research area is there. For example, if you're working on a biofilm production, okay? So just write down biofilm production and then some papers will come. So those papers will have the journal list, right? In which all the biofilm related papers have been published. So you can chalk down all those journals. So this is the easiest way where you can find out what are those journals who are publishing biofilm based title or bio essay or quorum sensing based. So just do that thing. Just go to PubMed, write down. It will help, right? All the journal listing have been given there. If you have any doubt, you can connect with me. No issues. I will let you know.
Yes, I'll be sharing your visiting card in the group, sir, so that anyone with query can approach you through mail or through your contact number. So I'll be providing the details in the group. If anyone is not available in the Microbiologist Society group or PhD Research Scholar group, please text in the chat box so that I can include your number in the group and you can have the details of the institute, as well as I'll be forwarding the YouTube link for the same session. So I guess I can conclude the session for today. It was really a pleasure to have Dr. Dilip sir in the session where he has very nicely explained the entire process of writing a research article, which seems to be very easy by reading the research papers, but it's actually the difficult and the toughest part to write. So I'm really very thankful through Microbiologist Society for spending your valuable time on Sunday and providing us valuable information on how to write the research papers. We are very thankful towards you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
I would also like to thank Dr. A.M. Deshmukh, sir, who has been always an inspiration and providing us good opportunities to have guests like Dr. Dilip Gore, sir, so that the knowledgeable person is exploring the things and spreading the knowledge so that it will be of some use for the research scholars, the students, and the budding microbiologists. So I'm even thankful towards Dr. Deshmukh, sir. I would also like to thank the entire participant list, which has been the one and only day where we are having almost 90 participants for today's session. I am really thankful towards all the participants who have spared out time on Sunday and have attended the session, without whom the session wouldn't have been successful. So last but not the least, again, thank you, Dilip sir, and we expect cooperative discussions and help from your side.
We will arrange. We will arrange workshop on how to write research article. We will also arrange the different courses. What I had already told you, that how to utilize the services and all. Then
Sure,
statistical part we'll covering. We'll be covering very soon.
Sure, sir. Sure. It will be of great help to all of us, sir.
Yes. No, sure.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Megha. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.